Stacy.
Bill said he was gonna be here tonight.
Thank you.
All right, it is 6:16. We'll call this meeting to order. Has everybody taken a chance to look over the minutes from our last meeting? If so, do I hear a motion?
I have a couple of edits actually to it.
All right,
Can you hear me, Stacy?
or Tracy?
Tracy?
Yes, I
Okay.
can.
On the discussion of a possible grant on page 2 for attracting new restaurants downtown, just to clarify that last sentence, the Main Street grant, it's currently not being offered due to lack of income from canceled events during the COVID shutdown. I just want to make it clear that we would be offering those if it wasn't for COVID. Does that make sense?
Yes, so it's not being offered due to lack of income from cancellation of events.
Yeah, during the COVID shutdown, yeah, because we couldn't have any events, so we don't have any money. And then the next one, the Butterballs, it said that money had been appropriated by the city. Want to make it clear that that money's coming from the city. That's not DDA that's working on Butterballs right now. That was it.
Okay,
Any more corrections? If not, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve them as amended.
All right, have a second? All in favor? You got
and who
four.
seconded that, please?
I did, Tracy, I'm sorry.
Matthew,
Thank you.
and it was 4-0. All right, financial report?
Yeah, we've got, we've just had a small amount of activity. We had to pay the insurance and the legal fees. So the account balance right now is 62,728, but we still owe for the signs 42,872. So available funds right now is 19,856.
Any questions from Carl? If not, moving on down to number 4, old business. Update on DDA powers and permitted expenditures. Is this Miss Stacy's, Miss Blackman?
Good evening, can you hear me okay?
No, she's,
No?
we can hear you, but
It's muffled.
It's muffled.
Okay,
That's
let me-
better.
Better.
okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I looked at that issue that came up at the last meeting a little closer about whether the funds to help for the cause to buy bulletproof vests for the city police department. And after doing some research, I confirmed that I do not think that's within our powers. There was a case similar that I found where a city wanted to use the DPA with a project for a police station and jail and improve city streets. And the court held that that did not fall within the constitutional designated purposes of DPA to promote and develop trade, commerce, industry, and employment opportunities. So when it's more of a purely public purpose, like to help with law enforcement equipment, I don't think it's authorized based on my findings. And then I did a memo, so I think some wanted to see what our types of powers would be. So I'll open it up for questions.
No, Stacy, I just want to thanks for that memo. I did read that memo and I agree with you. And so I think, do we need to make a motion not to, or we just let that die that we tabled last meeting? Because I think this makes it pretty clear that this is not an allowed expenditure for the police.
Do we need a motion on?
Stacy, do we need a motion for that? Or because we tabled it, do we need to discuss it any further, or?
I think you could probably just make the motion to deny the request.
We did that last month, though, there, or no?
I'll make a motion to deny the request that was brought up last month to give the police department $5,000 for vest.
Oh, we got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion by Matthews. All in favor? Unanimous. All right, number 2, discussion of facade grant application revisions.
So last month I gave you guys the application to review. Bill called me today. I thought he was going to be here tonight, but we'll go ahead and discuss what he and I talked about. His issue, one of the issues is exterior signage. He feels like that's not appropriate. It's not a benefit to the building. It's really a benefit to the occupant, correct. So he would like that removed. And then like the routine maintenance as far as like, you know, exterior paint or something like that, painting a window sill, that's pretty much up to the landlord to maintain and not part of a grant process. And then, so this all kind of falls under the storefront modification part of the application, that particular part. And then he brought up, so that those are the couple of things that he mentioned that he would like to see removed.
Any more comments?
Do you guys have any updates or changes that you would like to make?
I understand the signs. What was it about? I mean, I thought painting and exterior surface treatment, he doesn't want that
Well,
included either?
I think his point was like, for an example, where the southern post is, they painted like the exterior part just black, where the, and his point is that we shouldn't pay to that. That's something the landlord should upkeep as owner of the building. Those are basic things that they should keep up. And like the property owner of that particular building, they came in when Southern Post moved in to rent, and they came in and via, I guess, Southern Post request, you know, they wanted to do a little touch-up paint on that, and the landlord came in and painted it. So I guess his point is it's not really our responsibility to handle basic maintenance of the building. The landlord is responsible for that. I guess if we're painting like a big, like we did for Southern Homes and Land Realty, like a major paint, or Amy Brown State Farm, a major paint, minor updates, basic maintenance, I guess his point is he doesn't feel like that should be part of the grant.
I just don't know how you,
I don't know how you,
distinguish that.
I don't know how
Oh,
you,
yeah, I think we'd have to, in my opinion, we leave it in there, and it's just
up
when
to our
they,
discretion.
yeah, when we, you know, if the
Review.
grant is for something like that and we don't think it's appropriate, we don't approve it. But I
Okay.
don't think you can take it out of the application.
Okay.
Maybe instead just put a note in there that, you know, put paint, but then maybe put in parentheses, you know, maintenance
Seasonal maintenance or something.
is, yeah, not intended or something
Okay.
like that. Just so people
Yeah.
have a heads up that they know that
Okay.
we're
Got it.
paint, we're okay with paint, but not just
Like touch up.
touch
Yeah.
up paint or
Basic
whatever.
ma-
Basic maintenance.
Yeah, I mean, I think the paint has to be part of an overall project kind of
Correct.
thing, you know,
Yeah.
it's not
Correct.
just a, yeah.
Okay.
And I have no problem taking out exterior signs, because he's right. I mean, once that business is gone, that sign's gonna be gone, so.
Correct.
Right, yeah.
Correct.
I agree with that.
And that's one comment he made is, you know, the business could be gone in 6 months and then the sign's there. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Mhm.
Any other changes you guys want to see? Updates?
I'm good.
Okay.
All right, if we're not, we'll move on down to number 5, new business. Did Bill bring up anything about the pedestrian crossways to you?
Yes, sir. There's some sort of letter, and I was going to refer to Tom on that because I guess that letter was left to the former person in charge, city manager. So I would have to refer to Tom for that as far as dealing with DOT or some sort of letter that was issued. I don't have knowledge of that. I haven't seen it, and I don't think Tom's seen it either. You know, the city is not good of keeping a paper trail in past, right? So,
I think Bill was interested about the South Carroll Road crossing, and it was on the list, I believe Bill said.
right,
So he just wanted to make sure we had our feet running with that.
right, because they're doing some
Upgrades.
upgrades right now, correct. So I would have to defer to Tom on that. I thought he was going to be here tonight, but that's going to be a question for him and probably Bobby Elliott.
That's the only thing I had on new business.
Okay.
Bill mentioned it to me Saturday, I guess it was.
Yes.
All right, moving on down to number 6, public comment.
Jerry, can I bring something up really quick?
Yes.
Stacy, while we still have you on, I have a question. If we were to propose a kind of a work group or work day, just so we can come together as a group, do we just have to put that out for public like we do our regular agenda?
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Stacy.
I did read your lips though.
I think she said we had to go
The
through.
work session is subject to the Open Meetings Act, so we do need to advertise that. It's called, work session, if you want to have it on a different date than the regular scheduled meeting.
Okay, thank you.
And I assume the same would be true for like a specially called meeting as well?
Yes.
Yep, okay.
Okay,
So Andy, were you thinking like a retreat kind of thing, or training, or like?
No, more just to come together so we can get more of a consensus as a group, so we can have open discussion of ideas that we have based on feedback from businesses here in downtown, so we can come together and have more of a plan moving forward to address things instead of bringing item by item to an agenda, so we can truly have a plan of our own of how we want to move forward and see downtown move forward.
Okay.
Like a work session.
Work
But it'd be
session
for,
or
like, the
a
DDA
visioning
board.
meeting
Yeah.
or something, yeah, that's a good idea, okay.
Just instead of having individual ideas of, oh, yeah, this sounds good, let's bring it up, have an actual plan moving forward of how we're going to accomplish things, what we want to see done, and the different things, instead of waiting till they come up. That way we can have a plan for them as they come, and we can address them and have a better overall view of what we want to see happen down here.
One thing we could do, and Andy and I talked about this, is, we used to have the merchants meetings and have people come for the meetings and give ideas. So something that might be easier for the businesses, because we understand that they're all busy and it's hard to get away, right, is do some sort of survey, 3 or 4 questions, and go to all the businesses and kind of hand those out, get their feedback, give them time to say, we know parking's an issue, right? We know traffic, we know that, we'd like a parking deck, that sort of stuff, maybe they're having issues with their landlord, whatever. What's their biggest, top 4 or 5 things? Get that feedback from them, bring that back to you all, and let you all as a board, kind of get a plan of action together and what we want to see moving forward ourselves. Because, one of the things that we're taxed to do, not really taxed to do, but our responsibility to do is, purchase real estate and et cetera. That's kind of what the DDA is in place for. So,
Yeah.
thoughts, comments about that?
Well, I mean, survey idea, that's a good idea. I was just kind of extending on his point on this meeting, is maybe we could do something that's kind of a joint meeting with Main Street,
Right.
and then have some P&Z staff in addition to Main Street staff in there, because
HPC maybe.
HPC, stuff
Right.
like that, do like a joint meeting. Because, I've just being on council, I hear about this and hear about that, murals over here and artwork over there, and then maybe have Tom in here to talk about some of the stuff that's kind of in the works about
Bill's coming on.
those kind of things, so,
Right.
yeah, so
That-
maybe
that's
we
a
could
good
do
point,
like a
Matt.
joint
And
meeting or something
we
like
definitely
that.
could do that. I know Ron Johnson, who's the planning and zoning specialist, just sent out more recommendations on our side as far as historic preservation and what's going to be considered a historic preservation building, what he wants to mark as historic preservation. So that could change. In a year from now, they could say 132 now is a historic building, whatever. I know
Right.
that was on the list. So I think that's a good idea, because a lot of the stuff that we do as a Main Street board or DDA board or historic preservation board intertwines a lot, right?
Right,
So I think it's a good idea to bring all of us together and, get some feedback from the businesses, and then have a group work session and kind of work through some stuff, what we're allowed to do, what we can't do, HPC, planning and zoning, so on and so forth. So you're right, we can get a plan of action together, because I would like to see some stuff move. I know COVID hit us and everything kind of came to a stop. I know we're having some hold up with the gateway signs, from 2 of the property owners. We have 2, we need 2 more. So I would like to see a lot of this stuff get off the checklist, right? And so we can move forward to other things.
yeah. I mean, do you think we could do something like that in January, February?
Well,
or
that's
is
what
that
we're
too
talking about.
soon?
I think February, give us time to get the survey out,
Yeah.
get it back. I know we're in the holiday season, so a lot of people will be, busy with that, whether you're retail or your vacation or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
I think we can certainly get together, a survey. You guys kind of look at it and say, yeah, I'm cool with this. And then we can go around to the businesses and hand that out, give them, a couple of weeks to kind of give their feedback
Right.
and then plan something. I think February would be good. That way
Okay.
we have plenty of time to get it planned and get the word out.
Yeah, okay.
I know we're not meeting in December, so
I just want
That's
to
a
make
good
sure we
idea,
have
Andy.
a good plan moving forward and into it, so we don't waste our time in a discussion of pulling things that are so out there that wouldn't be worth a discussion. I think we need to
Right.
make sure we have a good plan going, so it's actually controlled, and we can come to some kind of agreement of moving forward on how we want to move forward with things.
maybe we should invite the DOT.
It's
Go ahead
not,
and bring
Or
in
the
the
railroad.
railroad. Yeah,
Not
go
push
ahead
our
and bring in
luck.
the Norfolk
I
Railroad.
know too,
we want to see
yeah.
something accomplished, don't we?
Okay, that's a good point, Andy. Thank you.
Can you hear, Bill?
I can. Thank you so much.
Okay.
This has been a trying experience.
Do we need to go back to the one where the new business, let him see if he knows him?
So Stacy, we kind of moved past the point of what we were talking about in the new business section. Bill had brought up something concerning South Carroll earlier. Can we go back to that, or do we need to?
If you can revisit that briefly, I would appreciate it. And I apologize for the interruption.
Go ahead, Bill.
Okay, is Tom Barber there tonight?
He is not.
Oh, phooey. Okay. Well, I have a letter here from GDOT, and it's dated September 29, and it was mailed to property owners who may be affected by their evaluation of pedestrian crossings in both Carroll and Haralson counties, crossings that intersect with state highways. And in downtown Villa Rica, Highway 78 is a U.S. highway number, and 8 is a state highway number, and they're the same road.
Right.
But anyway, they are going to be evaluating crossings and pedestrian safety, it says in my letter here. And it lists all the crossings in both counties that they plan on evaluating. And the ones that are actually associated with Villa Rica are the following. State Road 8 at Dogwood Street, which is there just below the, I guess is it the middle school or the elementary school?
South Dogwood, yes, it's by the elementary school, Villa Rica
Okay.
Elementary.
The next one is Bay Springs Road. And then both of the I-20 exits and 61, State Road 8 at Van Wert Road, State Road 8 at Carroll Road. So this gives us the opportunity as a city now, not as the DDA. I have put a lot of time on this for the last 20-something years, but I think it was about 6 or 7 years ago, we had the opportunity to actually put pedestrian crossings in at that intersection. And Norfolk Southern agreed to it, but they wanted to have their own people do it. And they wanted $25,000 to put in asphalt walkways on either side of the road inside the cross arms, because they wanted it inside the cross arms because of safety reasons, to try to keep people from walking across there when a train was coming. And they wanted $25,000, and the previous administration of the city of Villa Rica decided no, that was too expensive. So here we have a chance now when DOT is willing to work on these intersections, and hopefully Norfolk Southern will revisit that agreement, and the city can work together to make that finally come to fruition, because we've been trying to make downtown as pedestrian friendly as possible. And if you look at the walkway that we put up and down the railroad track, it just kind of goes to Carroll Road and then turns toward the the railroad track and stops. And it's the same way down at Cheeve Street. We were hoping to actually go from one side of town to the other with as safe way as possible. So I was hoping Tom would be there just in case he is not aware of this, because I don't see any CC to the cities involved. Only the property owners that might be affected by this were on it.
I think, Bill, if we could get a copy of that letter that you have and give it to Tom and our Community Development Director, Bobby Elliott, and get some movement on that and see what we can do.
Well, it is from a guy named Eric Duff,
Okay.
State Environmental Administrator. And it has been sent to the DOT board member, Lynn Westmoreland, DOT project manager, Andrew Bryant, and District 6 area engineer, Ricky Boatner. But anyway, this allows us to revisit that, and it would possibly make this an effort that comes to fruition after about 25 or 30 years of effort.
Right.
Okay.
We have a weekly meeting with Tom Wednesday, so I'll certainly bring that up to him. And then, again, if we could get a copy of that letter, I'll show that to him as well.
Well, if we can get our printer up here to work, I'll be happy to make
Okay. Thank you.
make a copy of it.
We certainly can make a copy at the office as well.
Well, I don't want to give him my only copy because I gave him my only copy of that letter from Norfolk
No,
Southern.
that's why I'll get your copy.
Okay.
We'll leave you with the original.
Okay, good, because I have learned never to give your only copy away. Have you already talked about the facade application also?
Yes, sir. I brought up what you and I had talked about this morning to them.
What was the general consensus on that, Janet?
You want to answer, Carl? You want to?
Yeah, we agreed with you on the exterior signs, that should not be part of it. Just because, like you said, the business leaves, they take that sign down, so that's really not part of it. The part about the painting, we agreed with you in principle about we don't need to be giving them grants just to do general maintenance to the building. But we thought it was hard to distinguish between painting the overall structure and really redoing it as opposed to just doing maintenance on it. So we wanted to leave that in there, but we always have the option, of course, of whether to approve it or not. And if it's for just general maintenance stuff, not approve it. And maybe put some language in the application that says, painting, but in parentheses, maybe not to include,
Basic maintenance.
basic, updates, basic maintenance, something like that. So,
Yeah, that sounds good, Carl.
okay.
It might also be nice to put in here that the facade grant itself is not taxable, at least according to my CPA. Now, you being a CPA, you probably know this, but it's not taxable, but the recipient cannot add that into his expenses as taxable.
That's right. Yeah, the grant itself is not taxable, but anything used to pay any expenses that you use the grant for cannot be deducted.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it might be good to put this in here just for general information.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it.
That's it, Bill?
Yeah.
All right. Where were we at? Number 7, items for future agenda. Executive session. Do I have motion to adjourn the DDA meeting?
So moved.
Got a motion from Matthew. Have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Carl. All in favor? Unanimous. All right, we'll call the CVB meeting to order at 6:41. Has everybody had a chance to look over the minutes from that meeting?
Yep, and I got a couple of edits to this one too.
All right, Carl, go ahead.
You ready? Can you hear me?
Yeah, she's shaking her head.
Okay, I can't see her, so. On the financial report, I said revenues were, revenues through September 30th, 2020 were down close to $20,000. So just add there the through September 30th, 2020, and then the word down after were. So they were down close to $20,000, with expenditures down roughly $38,000 compared to the same period in 2019. So just to show what we're actually comparing there.
Compared to,
The same period in 2019,
okay,
and that was it.
thank you.
All right, financial report, I think Carl
Well,
got,
any other changes? If not, I'll make a
okay, yeah,
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the changes.
all right, Carl made a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Andy, all in favor? Unanimous? All right, down to
Now, the financial report.
financial report, yeah.
All right, and this should all be in your packet that you either got through email or you had it printed out for you here tonight.
Yeah.
And it just shows the same thing I've been showing every month, showing the collections and expenses year-to-date, January through the end of October. And you'll see that the tax collections are still down roughly the same amount as last month, down about 21,000. But the expenditures are also still down about the same amount. So we're still on track with our revised budget. And then on the other side of that, or your second page, you'll see the analysis, the monthly analysis of the tax collections, how they have been going. They went down in September, but now they're going back up a little bit in October. So we're still down overall, $21,000 for the year, but still waiting for this COVID mess to end so we can actually fill up some hotels again.
Any questions from the financial report from Carl? If not, we'll move on down to 4, old business. Is that yours,
I think that was Stacy doing that insurance.
or is that Carl's insurance?
No, I wasn't talking about that. It's either,
Cause Tom went. Stacy, were you supposed to talk about the insurance?
Can't hear her. Can't hear you.
You're muted.
You're muted,
Mute.
Stacy.
I apologize, I don't have that quote in front of me. Do you have that, Sharon?
I don't,
I can probably find that. Sorry. But we obtained a quote from Carol Realty, which is the same, company that,
It's the same as the DDA quote?
yeah. Is the code in the quote? I don't.
Stacy, we can't hear you that great. Sorry.
Down in it.
while they're looking, I think basically what this is we reached out to the company that we got the new insurance through for the DDA to replace the company that we were with before. And I think we got a better quote, right, Sharon?
Yes.
And that other company was a pain to deal with, so it makes perfect sense to switch over, just like we did with the DDA.
Right. Cause and I've already told them we're not renewing. So, let me see if I can't find you. That's the bond application.
Is that quote in your packet, Tracy?
I don't,
No, she didn't.
don't think the quote's in the packet.
It's not.
My email, I apologize. It's $1,020 for the coverage for the $1 million coverage that we will just renew at the end of the existing policy term, which is in January. But we did this a little early since you won't be having your December meeting. So it's an insurance quote for directors and officers liability, $1 million coverage for $1,020.
Can you repeat that, Stacy? I'm sorry, we're having a hard time hearing you.
It's a quote for E&O insurance to take place at the renewal, at the, end of the existing policy term, which is in January.
January 24th.
For $1,020.
$1,020. Okay.
And is that, like the one that we did for the DDA, did you take out anything to do with employment and cyber, the extra things they were adding? Okay,
It's about the same price as the DDA anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
okay. Then I'll make a motion that we approve the new policy at $1,020 to take effect when this current policy ends.
All right, got a motion from Carl. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Matthew. All in favor? Unanimous. All right, down to number 5, new business.
We had something we talked about last month, but Tom's not here, about the new board. Any updates on that?
Yeah.
I spoke with Tom. I spoke to Tom about that, and he was like, he said that he's going to have the council go ahead and appoint, recommendations. I sent out the recommendations that I had given to you all to Tom on Friday, so he's going to take it before the city council
In December.
in December.
Okay. I just want to make sure that things are moving on that.
They
Okay.
are.
So this will be our last meeting, right?
For
Right.
CVB.
Right.
Yep, correct.
And I have one more thing that, the Carroll County, Chamber Community Guide, we were in it, for the past few years. It's time to, it's a 2-year guide. Full page is $2,995. And so just need
We need to renew that. That's above
to
my
Yeah.
approval.
approval. So just need to have y'all vote to approve that.
And this is the, what, Carroll County?
It's their 2-year guide.
It's their two-year community guide.
Okay, so that's the one they give to everybody, like
Yes.
new businesses and
Correct.
every,
Right.
in town and. okay.
Right, uh-huh.
Got you.
And it's put out by the chamber.
Yes.
So there'll
Okay.
be the one for Douglas County, we've already approved because it was in my spending authority. But this one is a little above that, which I think it's over 2,000. It's above mine. So this will be coming up in January for them they'll start working on it in January. So we need to approve it now because we're not meeting in December.
All right, do we have a motion to approve?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the ad in the Carroll County publication.
Second.
Second from Matthew. All in favor? Unanimous. All right.
Thank you.
All right, moving down to number 6, public comment. Item for future agenda. Executive session.
I'm just going to say we won't have a future agenda
There you go.
for this one. That's it.
Let's come up with stuff to make the future board worry about.
There you
Yes,
go.
something for them to worry. Yeah, we ought to put a bunch of stuff on there for them to take up their first meeting. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, got a motion to adjourn. Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous again.
Stay safe.
Thank
sir.
everybody.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Bill.
Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
Hope you get to feeling better. Tracy?
Hey.
Oh, thanks. I'm okay. I've just had the contact protocol. So,
Lucky you.
question, did we have anybody in the audience?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I just needed that.
Not even approximately one.
No one in attendance.
We're just a boring bunch, that's all.
I would like to thank Matthew for the Reese cups and the Butterfingers and the M&Ms. Those were for me.
Y'all have a good one.
I thought about
Hopefully I'll
it.
see you all sometime soon. Have a good Thanksgiving. Thank you.